everybody. Welcome to today's live stream. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll do my best to answer them in the chat. We'll take some time to review a little bit of what we talked about yesterday and then kind of look at what we can expect for the future here. So first and foremost, I've said this once and I want to say it again because I really, really want to drill this into people's heads so they get it. For the last 6 weeks in almost every single stream, what I had said is that this is starting to look like a wave 4, and I'm going to explain why. When it comes to an impulse wave with Elliott wave, wave 1 is typically a sucker's rally. Okay, we've been in a downtrend for so long. This wave 1 is a sucker's rally. Bears will say, oh, you know, this is not going to lead to new highs. We're going to stay to be range bound. This is just a lower high. It's going to create new lows. Okay. Wave 2 is associated with FUD, bad news, and euphoric bears. And that's exactly what we saw here. There was some Binance FUD at the time, and it caused price to dip below, just barely below 20K for a very brief time. And as we can see on this weekly candle, it was very quickly bought up. And then we had expansion to the upside for wave 3, which is the strongest wave, okay? And this is not driven by retail, all right? This is smart traders, pro traders pushing the price up here and doing so profitably. Wave 4 is typically shallow, sideways, because it's categorized by its profit-taking qualities, right? So this is profit taking. It's not heavy shorting. It's not a very bearish market, right? This is profit taking, which is why it's sideways, choppy, and shallow in depth. Okay. And in fact, we deviated here, the 382, which was a really key spot for me. And what I had said is, as long as we hold this zone here, I think that it's more likely that we go on to create new highs. Okay. Now we're on to wave 5. How is wave 5 categorized? Wave 5, and this is just so beautiful. It kills me how perfect this is. Okay. Wave 5 is where retail traders get trapped. It's where retail traders are the most bullish. It is associated with good news, i.e., Bitcoin ETFs, right? The FUD is gone. Everybody's euphoric. We're going to go to all-time highs. People are going to be calling for 40K, 50K, 60K, all-time highs, etc., etc., etc. Okay? And what's going to happen here is we're going to see this move to the upside. It's going to be associated with bearish divergences, okay, on a weekly time frame. We're going to get into this zone. Retail traders are going to be euphoric. Everybody's going to be going crazy. We're going to be calling for obscene targets. And you know what's going to happen is all of these retail traders are going to get absolutely wrecked and trapped for when we get an eventual move back to the downside. Okay? So what I'm telling you is not to get euphoric. Do not buy into everybody saying that we're going to go to all-time highs, that this is going to go crazy, because this is very much typical of a wave 5. It shows the characteristics of a wave 5, right, where we have this good news and where retailers get trapped and people are calling for all-time highs, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so I very much encourage you to be cautious here. I'm not saying that we should dive into shorts all of a sudden. What I'm saying is that this is typically where retailers get trapped because everyone's so extremely bullish. And in my very humble opinion, I think that I believe that the ETFs will be launched perhaps in the next, or approved in the next week or two here. And when and if that happens, it will mark the top. Just like the Coinbase IPO marked the top here. Okay? This was the Coinbase IPO. Similarly, I suspect we'll have the Bitcoin ETF in here. And what we'll see then shortly after is a nice rejection to the downside, a bounce, and then a move to our final target down here. Okay, where we ultimately take out this low. That's what I think is going to happen. I'm pretty confident in this move. Just in the way, like I said, I've been watching this for 6 weeks now, having this theory that this is something that we would see. The one thing I did not, however, foresee is how quickly it would happen. I mean, it's truly astonishing. If we go ahead and let's see what chart I want to pull up here. This one. If we go down to a daily time frame, I mean, it is truly something else to watch just how quickly price is pumped to the upside here. I mean, it really is. It's remarkable. Okay. And we look at, where exactly did we reject from? Well, we rejected from the value area high of our previous range here. Okay, you can see right here, value area high of the previous range, rejection and a rejection again. I don't think that that's going to hold. I do think that we are going to get some degree of a move down. It looks like that is playing out right now. We'll get some degree of a move down, but price is not done yet. I do believe that we are going to get one more push to the upside, okay? And we will take out this high, possibly even this one here, all right? So let's go ahead to our primary chart, but we can see this, look how nicely this is, right? The previous range value area high plus this upward, top of this upwards channel, we can see it's giving us this really nice rejection so far. And also, right, a sweep of these highs, which we had called for yesterday. So as far as our plan from yesterday on Livestream, it's played out perfect. This is what I drew out. You can see it right here. This is exactly what I drew out from the Livestream. I showed you these highs here. I marked the X marks the spot. I said we are going to sweep those highs, and we did exactly that, just right where I marked out on the chart, okay? We have this deviation here. This is a really key SR flip zone, and we can see that we deviated here, got this move down, back tested, and we're back testing again. Did a nice sweep of the highs. Again, I do not feel that this is done, okay? I don't think that this rally is over with. I think that we will go on a little bit higher, okay? So let's go ahead and zoom in here and just see exactly. If we go ahead and take this here and mark this out, we can see that we did get a daily swing failure pattern here. I'm not surprised by this. Similarly, I want to remind you of this range here. Support, flip to resistance, attempt number 2, okay? 3, breakthrough, okay? Deviation, resistance, okay? Attempt 2, move down, breakthrough. That's what I think we're going to see happen. We'll get a move down from here. We'll consolidate for a period. Price will break above, okay? And my theory on this is, and I've been saying this for a long time. Those of you who have been watching my streams or seen my market update videos, I have been saying this for the longest time ever. And here's what I said. What would be so savage, okay? If we go ahead and take a look, we have this really nice sideways channel here that Bitcoin spent quite some time in. Here, to the top, to the bottom, to the top, to the bottom, flip to resistance, come back, back test here, reject, okay? Now I want to see a deviation for us to lose it again, okay? If we deviate in here and it holds, then there's no reason to think that we wouldn't go to the midline at about 47K. I think that people will get trapped to the assumption that that's going to happen. Okay, so, and I've been calling for this for a really long time, where I've said, In my opinion, I believe that we're going to deviate back into this range to get people very, very, very bullish, and it's just so perfect that it's going to be happening on a wave 5. Okay. And I do want to show you just this other channel here. If I go ahead and hide this channel, you can see that this is another very key channel. You can draw this, you can draw the channel sideways or as slightly upwards. You can see the top in 2017. Here, break back in, top, bottom, top, flip to resistance, and now let's have the deviation, back test it one more time for a move down, and then break through and have our move back to the upside. Okay, that's how I believe this is going to play out. And if you look at those same positions, but we look at them on our other channel here, you can see that it would be a really nice deviation that also matches up with this channel here at resistance, okay, and this monthly SR flip zone. Okay, so for me, this is just like it couldn't be any more perfect or ideal that this is playing out this way. And like I said, I've been talking about this for so long. I mean, months I've been talking about this for. And you can only see so far out ahead. I could never have guessed that it would have played out this perfectly. And of course, we still have a ways to go. But in my opinion, what we can expect from here now, okay, what we can expect, and I'm going to try to keep this stream very short. How long have we been going for? 15 minutes. Perfect. What we can expect, in my opinion, is we just had a swing failure here, okay? I do want to take a look. Let's see. I just want to... Okay, yes. All right, so we have this, which is also the point of control, the previous range point of control. Okay. I'm going to remove this here. I want to clean this up. We do have this nice order block, but I don't really want it on my chart anymore. I'm going to get rid of... No, I will keep that. We don't need this weekly. I don't think that that's going to happen. We don't need this anymore. Okay, so let's go down to a 4-hour time frame. We have successfully taken out this high. Oops. Going to get rid of this. I foresee a range being put in, and I want to identify that range. Okay. Okay, so here's my thought process, just to give you guys a little insight as to what I'm looking at here and why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. So, a couple things. I'm operating under the assumption. I am operating under the assumption. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. If I operate under that assumption, right now wave 1 is the longest wave. Typically, under impulse wave rules, you would want wave 3 to be the longest wave, or just not the shortest. Okay? So, wave 5 has to be shorter than wave 3. This line, mark this on your calendar, July 20th, Thursday, July 20th, wave 5 has to be complete before that date, which means that I expect to take out this high somewhere in this time frame. Okay? I expect price to trade above this line here somewhere in this time frame. Okay? So I'll go ahead and we'll just say okay? This is it right here. We're expecting a new high to be put in somewhere in this time frame. Now, if that's the case, that means that we have about 4 weeks to do so. All right? I suspect more likely it would happen in the next 2 or 3. I don't think it's going to be cut close. So one of a couple things is going to happen here from what I'm looking at. Okay, and I just want to show you my degrees of confluence here. This is the value area from this price action. Okay, we can see it's been very well respected. Resistance, break inside resistance at the value area high, break back down, point of control acting as resistance, point of control acting as resistance. Again, we can see that this has been a really crucial area, right? Now, let's take our channels. Okay, and we can see if we go ahead and get rid of all this, you can see that we are, trading back inside this channel. Ultimately, this was a deviation of this upper channel that we've been trading in for some time, and we can see just how respected the bottom, the top, and the midline have been. So my very first instinct is to say we have a fair value gap here. Okay, we have a fair value gap here, and we're currently forming another one depending on how this daily closes, right? If we do our fib pull, we can see that this, the 3A2, falls right at the midline. Now, if we go ahead and put back on our value area, we can see that the previous range value area low is right around the midline. So we have the previous range value area low. We have this nice midline from this sideways channel that we've been trading in for a time, okay? And we also have the 3A2 of this move, right? And I would expect to some degree for pullbacks to be at least somewhat shallow. In addition, if we go to our chart here, our liquidation chart, we can see that these 100x longers never got wrecked here, okay, just below these lows. So that's at about 28.4, 28.5. If we go ahead back to our chart, we can see that the midline is at about 28.4, 28.5. A little bit of leeway with this fair value gap. So like this area for me, I think is a really nice spot to potentially open up along if we are to get there. If we were to get this move down here, I would very much prefer it to be fast and quickly get back up, because again, we really only have 4 weeks to complete this move, and I would like to do it in about 2 or 3. So we're gonna have to play this by ear. I don't really like the timing of it, and I don't really like, how can I say this? It seems dramatic for me to happen this quickly because you can see that we would have to get like in this kind of a zone here where we tap the trend line plus this zone. It would have to happen, over the weekend. So first of all, I would have to expect the weekend move, which I'm not very fond of. Okay. And two, we would have to retrace virtually this whole day's worth of work, which again, I'm not particularly fond of. Um, it just seems like it would all be a little too fast for me. So I'm not exactly, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't seem as likely to me, but it's the area that I most reson with in terms of, immediate areas of support, right? We can see that this nice little period of consolidation, if we were to get a move down, could act as support for continuation to the upside. So I'm going to set some alerts here. I'm going to start my alerts at about 29. And if we break down below that, I will be looking for, some degree of a long position here. Under the assumption, again, that we are going to have some degree of continuation to the upside. So I do have that marked out there. When it comes to shorts, I'm not interested in shorting this period until this high is taken out. And like I said, I very much want to create some sort of a deviation as I've marked out here. So let's actually mark out the timing on here and everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and hide all of this, okay? How much time have we been on here? 36 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up very fast because I want this to be a shorter live stream for you guys. So it has to be shorter than this. We'll go ahead and mark that out. Okay, so there's our time frame. I would very much like to see some kind of a deviation here within this time frame, okay? So if that's going to happen, obviously it has to happen pretty damn fast, right? So it's just really hard for me to say, we really could just, the days really could just kind of look like this and then get another expansion candle. It could be something like this. Right. So that's kind of my thought process. Again, it doesn't even have to go this high per se, but I'm really not interested in shorting until this high is taken out. Once this high is taken out, price will spend some time here. I don't think it's going to be a one day, oh, if you missed it, you missed it. I think we're going to get some opportunities to develop some kind of a setup. There will be some distribution at the high in order for whales to dump on retailers who think it's going to go to 100K, and then we'll have some nice retracement to the downside that'll probably take out this whole move. But until then, really like this shorter time frame stuff, the first area that comes to mind for me is this zone. I just have a hard time thinking that we're going to retrace kind of that deeply that quickly and then, reconcile the move and get back up here. So we'll have to play it by ear and kind of watch and see what happens. But I just really wanted to provide you guys some insights. And at this point, just give you some levels to really keep an eye on. Again, like if you look at this zone, it's an SR flip zone here. Okay. This area is an SR flip zone. So it would be really nice to see some kind of a move down in here and a move back up. And again, really the only thing that's making me like feel like I have to have like a timing put on this is this trend line. So if I go ahead and get rid of this, I feel a lot more This gives me like a lot more freedom to think, yeah, okay, like we could just consolidate here for a period, kind of get this move down like this, and then, you know, kind of back up, and then, you know, and then kind of start going like this and having moves up here, you know. It gives me a little bit more freedom. So as I'm, you know, watching this, as I have this trend line on here, it kind of makes me feel like this has to happen faster than it should. So we'll have to wait and see when price hits this trend line, and it will. We'll have to see how it reacts and when it happens. If it happens in conjunction with this zone, I think that that sets us up for a nice long position. If it happens much further down the road, say if price continues to consolidate here, then we'll have to, you know, reevaluate and make some kind of a decision there, probably based on lower time frames. Okay. So I hope you guys found all that insightful. This is the second day that I've had someone mention the volume of my mic, so I'll go ahead and do some adjustments on that before our next stream. But I hope this kind of gives you guys some insights. Ultimately, we are cautious on longs. We are not expecting 50, 100K. We're not expecting all-time highs. Despite all the good news, despite all the ETF news, etc., we are going in this with the mentality that the Bitcoin ETF is likely to call the top of this bear market rally, and then we will see some degree of a retracement to the downside, you know, that will provide us for really just a better long opportunity in the long run, okay? Especially on alts. So just bear that in mind. We are low time frame, keeping an eye on this trend line, the 382, the midline here, in knowing that it is also in conjunction with the 32K value area from our previous range. The value area low, I could easily see us trading inside this value area for a period of time before price eventually finds its way back to the upside, right? Maybe creating something of a ascending triangle to eventually break this massive resistance at about 31K. Okay, so this is kind of our low time frame plan that we're going to have to keep an eye on and develop day by day. And our long-term plan is to take out this high and to be patient when looking for shorts when that does happen. Okay. All right, well, if you guys have any further questions, feel free to ask me in the Discord. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining me for today's live stream. This is so exciting to have finally some, you know, volatility, some incredible price action that really wants to get us all involved. So this is very, very, very fun. Okay, and if you guys, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm really, really busy tomorrow. My dad is getting married tomorrow, so I'm not sure that I will have time for a live stream. Hopefully I can make a little bit of time to post a chart. Otherwise, I can do a follow-up over the weekend just to see how things go, okay? But from here, really, I expect some consolidation before a continuation to the upside or some degree of a fast dip down, okay, into this zone to which we can look to long, all right? All right, thank you guys again. And like I said, if you have questions, feel free to join me in the Discord.